Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're checking out an alpha of a game called Wrack. And this is a cel-shaded arcade-style first-person shooter. It sort of reminds me a little bit of a fusion of like the original Doom and Quake 2 with a little bit of like Borderlands look to it. It's very interesting actually, and it really hit the spot finding that this game was out there because I've been having sort of a craving to play a decent first-person shooter. And there's not a lot of them out there in terms of indie games that are, you know, really noteworthy. But I think this is definitely one of them. So here's the deal with this one. It's like I said, it's an alpha. It's an early version. They are taking pre-orders on this, and of course they are also trying to get their game posted on Steam through Greenlight. So I'll have all the requisite links for that right in the description. And you're getting to see a quick preview of it right now in this little early film, well, just like Doom. So the thing is, you can pre-order right now, get into the alpha, and that's going to get you the access to the first 5 levels, or the first 5 maps, as well as user-created maps, and access to a level editor, I believe. So there's all kinds of community content, and then you're also going to get a discount when the full version comes out, sort of like how Minecraft did it. I believe it said it was 33% off the first episode of Wrack when it's officially released. So pre-ordering right now is not a bad idea if this game does end up looking appealing to you. You're kind of opening up the floodgates here for all sorts of content to come in, so I don't know, I don't want to keep belaboring this point. Let's start it up and see what is going on. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew all the important stuff right from the get-go. So there's our screen settings. Got all of our stuff looking good. Gamepad settings, always nice. Cool. I think I'm just going to play it by ear. Start up a game and see what happens. Doom's Arrival. And then we've got Arc to Arcturus DLC and the Terrors of Turon. I'll start on medium. There's no I'm too young to die mode or nightmare, so ultra-violence. Let's see what this is about. I'm expecting a pretty fast-paced game. Oh yeah. First time starting this up, and the movement speed is definitely on the fast side. It's like really fast, actually. So that would be great for time trials. This is, start out with this melee weapon here, which is reminding me a little bit of a hybrid of the Zero's sword from Borderlands 2 and something from Kiss Psycho Circus. There was a saber of sorts. And then we've got some stroke or something over here. I like one of the tooltips that popped up was like, we're certain that the best way to proceed through this game is to shoot enemies until they die. Like sort of poking fun at itself. And if you hear the music, definitely a Doom theme going on there. What did it say? F was activate? Wow, I should have probably looked at the controls more carefully, huh? Sorry about that. Controls, activate, F. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Didn't work. Nope, okay, so it's just locked. That's my fault. Oh, giant red button there. Alright, I guess we got to use our momentum to jump this wide gap. Oh, cool. We got a Duke Nukem 3D style security cam. Yeah, I guess I saw the button maybe out of like the corner of my eye, but I was not really paying attention, and I didn't really expect that I'd be able to jump a gap that big, so I didn't think it really mattered. So, pistol feels kind of crappy. I mean, it's, you know, as to be expected, most pistols are pretty crappy in general. There doesn't seem to be any kind of melee attack when you have the pistol up, other than just to switch back. Thankfully, everything seems to die in one hit. Sort of alternating between paying attention to the game and looking around me and trying to make a few observations about the art style, because it does seem pretty cool. Oh, lots of bullets, that's good. Oh, we've got some spider board droids coming up. I feel like it could use a few more like particle effects and stuff, and I'm sure that's probably still coming since this is, like I said, an alpha. And I think we've got some headshots here we can do, which is great. Always a fan of that. If you're gonna, you know, make the game about skill to some degree, you should probably have the ability to headshot stuff. That is a long jump. Can I really make that, or is there a button somewhere? It's usually a button. So let's look around while we've got a moment here. Oh, it's just a floating platform. Alright, so we're doing the sort of hybridized blend between rendered polygons and then a skybox which is pre-rendered. Oh, hello. Didn't realize you were behind me there, Spider-Bot. You're not so tough, though. I imagine with this frantic pacing, we're probably going to get into the realm of, like, Serious Sam level enemy numbers, maybe. Which is cool with me. I am quite a big fan of highly populated enemy counts. And that was totally my fault before for not paying attention to the buttons, but I was just sort of relying... Wow, that's kind of creepy. I was relying on the fact that I've played so many first-person shooters that I just would kind of get what to do. You know, I just said that on Twitter the other day. I was like, does nobody think it's just sort of creepy that Mega Man's 1-up is just a decapitated head of himself, which is sort of creepy and staring at you, and I don't know. I don't find that comforting that much. I mean, it's comforting because you just got a 1-up, but aside from that, I should probably not waste my shells, because you never know. Oh, Gibbs. I haven't seen a game with some good Gibbs in a while. Props to the developer of this. They know what people like me are looking for in a first-person shooter. Yeah, it's really... It feels like Quake 2 a lot for me. Maybe it's these, like, lights, or the textures, or... I don't know, maybe it's a little bit to do with the color scheme, which is sort of a dull, more muted brown for the most part. Browns and grays, but I mean, that is not all that's going on, because if you notice, obviously, you know, some pretty bright colors popping out as well. I think it's more cohesive than anything else. Health, 100. Oh, monster closet. What are you? Are you a boss? What do I do with you? I can't seem to fight you. Oh, now I can. Okay, I had to wait for the hit point meter to pop up. Almost a little refreshing that I don't have to reload. After playing so much Borderlands, I feel like shooting the shotgun this many times, I should probably have had to reload by now. Alright, so maybe... Oh, hello. I thought you were dead. No, just fall down, you stupid thing. Yeah. Maybe picking medium was a mistake. Maybe I should have gone a little harder. But then again, I'd rather demo more material than less and not be frustrated, so maybe this was the right call, actually. Plus, this is still the very beginning of the first level, so who knows. But so far, totally digging it, totally into it. We've got a death pit there. Jump over that with ease. I actually feel like my finger's about to rest on the R key completely, unnecessarily. Doesn't this look like a gun you'd get in Borderlands? I know I keep saying that. There's no reason for me to keep pointing that out, but it just seems kind of funny. And I don't mean that like to say that they're parodying it or they're ripping it off or anything. I kind of like that the aesthetics are similar, because I really like the aesthetic of Borderlands, actually. What did I just get? Doom something? Alright, well, this is clearly my quad damage or adrenaline shot. I like it. Feels good, man. Oh yeah, let's do some hacking. Impressive. I'm getting points or gold or something. Curious to know what the point of that is, unless it's just for like a leaderboard or high score numbers. Also very curious to check out this level editor. As you guys may know, I'm a pretty big fan of modding in games in general, and level editing in particular is something that I've spent a lot of time doing, and Doom, in fact, was... I don't know why I didn't press that button. Doom, in fact, was one of my first level editing forays, or I should say my first foray into level editing, because grammar counts. And, you know, that, Marathon, Duke Nukem, Quake, Half-Life, like all of those things I spent some time working on. So it's kind of really cool to see that even in a small way, that sort of same spirit is still alive in the indie community. And it's because it's something I miss. Like, there aren't enough games that feel like that anymore, that have this ability to be touched by, you know, the people that enjoy it and make more content for it. And now, like, all the games that I'm into, you end up having to pay $15 for 3 maps. It's so stupid. Like, I used to make maps constantly for Unreal Tournament, and there were hundreds to download for free. You would sit there for hours and just look through them all. Or you'd see what servers were running what maps and just go grab a pack or something. Or like even Cliffy B would release the epic packs with tons and tons of free maps in them. I already fought you. What are we doing here? Is that... Oh, okay. Same as before. You gotta mix it up, man. You're kind of easy. Alright. Purple spheres this time. This could be different. Are those homing? They are, in fact. I think one hit me there. The, Sprite, or whatever that thing is, that energy orb, actually reminds me a lot of... And I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation here, but the main green alien enemies from Marathon, I believe they were called the Four. I'm not sure how you pronounce it properly, but that's what I always kind of ran under. And they would, they'd swing their staff at you, and then they'd shoot this little energy ball that sort of looked just like that. And then, of course, there was the Spit, and they would open their cloaks and shoot out these crazy yellow plasma balls at you. Thumbs down. I was too slow, wasn't I? Hey, 69 kills. Big shout out to J Smith OTI. Alright, what do we have next? So there's 5 maps, I guess, we get to check out in this alpha version. And I haven't mentioned the lighting effects yet. I mean, again, early alpha here, so might not end up being the way it is. I think we're missing a some sort of a model right here that's supposed to have an alarm spinning or some sort of siren. But whatever, the lighting effect's still pretty cool. Oh, and of course, if you do pre-order, you get free updates, I presume, until the official game is released. I don't know why I'm wasting my shotgun shells again. I thought I've already established that that is a bad idea. 3 times kills, so there are actually, you know, combo counters and stuff, which is pretty cool too. Especially considering there's like a score attack or time trial mode. This texture is totally reminding me of Marathon. This is so like refreshing to just have a little bit of what I loved so much about first-person shooters back in the day, just like re-emerging into the sphere of public opinion again. It's nice to feel relevant, right? You know, when you do something you enjoy and then it's appreciated by other people and that propagates that appreciation amongst some others. I know I'm rambling, but still. Makes me feel nostalgic, you know? Can I open this? Do I need a blue key for this? I remember setting up the freaking Doom maps where you would have to put this texture on all 4 sides of this and then you have to tag it. Good times. Oh, I was wondering if that thing would get crushed in the door. Oh well. Yeah, I'm really leaning on the Quake aesthetic, I think, is really where we've gone with this. If anything, mostly because of the cyborg-ish enemy designs, as well as the way things look. What hit me? Oh. You know, I've actually wanted to do an episode on Serious Sam for a while, but I've often wondered if you guys consider that development studio to even be indie. So I know you guys can be a little particular about what is and isn't indie. I mean, not that that's a huge deal or anything. I'll play what I want as long as it's not like blatantly a AAA game. Like, I'm not about to go play, you know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 on indie impressions, because that would just be stupid. But you know, to a certain extent, if something is published by a major publisher, if it's still developed by a small studio, I don't really mind. You know, everybody starts somewhere, and congrats to them if they actually got an opportunity to get their game put out by somebody big. Doesn't happen for everybody. So we've actually got some turrets here. Not so bad. The aiming actually, I mean, it feels really sensitive at first, but now I'm pretty used to it, and it feels quite good. You don't feel like there's any delay between you needing to pick something to fire at and you actually doing it. The only thing that might get me into trouble is if I go flying off one of these edges into some lava, which is highly probable actually, because there's lava quite all around me. So maybe shotgun is in order at this point. The spread fire seems pretty minimal with this thing. I mean, it does do the job, definitely, but I feel like it could also spread out a little bit more, but maybe I'm just using it a little too close. Hoping for a new gun. I want to see what else there is beyond the usual fare. I mean, that's the way it always used to be. Remember the day? Like, it was always melee, pistol, shotgun, chain gun, some variation between chain gun and, like, some plasma gun, a rocket launcher. And then there was always that crazy big cannon at the end. I mean, we've seen this this formula has been replicated to death. I mean, Quake, Duke Nukem. Actually, Duke Nukem had a pretty good variation, but Turok, like you name it, pretty much all the major FPS games of the day. Shadow Warrior. Oh god, I love Shadow Warrior. It's such a good game. That had one of the best feeling katanas ever. And then the double Uzis were so much fun. Had a bunny cannon in that game. That was good times. I remember I had that on the iMac, but it was running like a 333 megahertz iMac that could barely handle the game. And then I took the bunny cannon, I brought it into this room that was just full of bunnies that were all propagating and doing their bunny thing. And there was probably like a good 50 to 100 of them in that room. I fired that cannon off, the bunnies caused a chain reaction, computer hard crashed. It was hilarious, everybody laughed. Well, everybody was like me and my friend that was over at the time, but it was still funny enough for me to remember it for all this time. Alright, so I think I've gotten most of the armor I need here. What do I need to do now? Let's look around. I make a habit of passing obvious things that would progress just so I don't screw myself and then summon too many enemies by accident. The base of that sword is pretty crazy looking. I love those little cubes that are just hanging out there in the air. Game is also smooth as hell. Like, I have no problems with the way that this is looking, the way this is playing. Everything feels great. So maybe this is like a case of just being in the right place at the right time, but like I totally needed to play a game like this, and it totally is delivering so far. I can't really think of too many others that are really doing this same thing in this same way that feels so right. So these guys have my support. I should probably look in the options menu again. This is a really stupid little niggling complaint that I have, but I like to be able to change the cursor, or the crosshair, I mean. I always preferred the dot sight to the plus. And I don't know, that doesn't even matter at all. That's just a personal preference, but there might even be an option for that. I just probably passed it. Just look at that real quick, just in case. Gamepad, display, video, I don't think, actually maybe there's not. There's no just like straight up game option. No. But it does have a lot of options as far as customizing your controls. Oh, there I can see the Pulsar and Bazooka. So there doesn't seem to be a ton in the weapon department, which is a little bit of a letdown, because I do love me some crazy exotic weapons. As one of the other things I love so much about Marathon was, I mean, it had those sweet dual-handed shotguns, and all of that great stuff, like the plasma pistol. Oh, hello, you are large. The awesome rocket launcher that eventually got stolen when the same developer made Halo. You guys aren't that hard. You're pretty slow. Yeah, I think actually if you guys are as familiar with first-person shooters as I consider myself to be, you probably want to go a step over medium at this point. Because I'm finding this to be pretty easy, and I'm not even completely paying attention. Like, I mean I am, but I'm not putting my entire attention on the game. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd be able to handle at least one step up, if not the hardest difficulty level. And I'm not saying with ease, but I do want to be challenged. I mean, I love Serious Sam because that game is freaking hard, man. Like, if you played Serious Sam, you know that game gets crazy. To the very best of my ability, I can barely stay alive usually on, like, the normal setting. Oh, what happened? Did that thing get gibbed and turned into a puddle of oil? That's pretty wild. Yeah, so, let's see. What things do I want from this game? Oh, stealth kill mode? You kind of gave that one away, didn't you? Yeah, so I'd like to see more decals and particle effects and stuff. I mean, it shouldn't cut into, like, the frame rate, obviously. Because, you know, the most important thing is that the game plays smooth and fast and feels good. And right now, I think the balance is pretty well balanced. Oh, this was a secret of secrets, I suppose. Let's go back up. I got a pot of gold here. So yeah, just some more improvements to the engine. The lighting seems great. The textures look fine. The enemies so far seem pretty diverse, seem interesting. More levels, obviously, so I guess keep it going. If you could put more weapons in, that would be super awesome, but that's just me. I mean, it's obviously your design, it's your vision. I don't get to call how many weapons you want to make. But that would make me happy, personally. The more bigger, crazier weapons, or versatility when it comes to weapons, especially with respect to the fact that there's a level editor involved in this, you're going to give people the ability to create different angles with respect to what weapons the player is granted. So that could be kind of important. Was this level really designed to go backward like this? Is there a map? I should probably look for that. I feel like there was a map. Sorry, I keep going into the options menu here. I'm sort of a dummy. Invert mouse sensitivity, jump right, jump crouch, weapon shift. I don't know what weapon shift means. I guess I don't get to find out. Okay. No, okay. I guess I'll just wander around a little bit more. Not like I'm super lost. I just, I got caught up talking and then I sort of forgot where I was going, and, well, you just know how that goes. Alright, so I gotta get some more key cards or something. You know, it's great. You can take all these cues from the old school designs. You see those colors on those bars, it's like, you know what to do. You know what's going on, what the bigger picture looks like. Sound design seems great. Oh, there we go. That was a great shot, right? It's over here. Music seems generally kind of unobtrusive, but I think it actually really follows the Doom format quite well. The way that Doom was always designed, the music always, like, it played a big role, but at the same time it wasn't overpowering either. But I consider the Doom music to be fairly iconic. I think probably most people do. Oh, now I've done it. I don't really want to get trapped in here. Maybe I should not. I don't know if it was worth it. I didn't really want to fight these guys right now. You know, it's also kind of a relief to not have to look down iron sights for once. That's a kind of a stupid complaint, but, like, it's just, you get so used to it. So many games all have that. It's like, let's just do the fire from the hip thing. It's just less work. Feels right. I mean, we're not going for realism here. Nobody cares about that. Yeah, good headshot, right? Gotta take 2 shots for each guy. If I was really being picky, I might tweak the mouse just a little bit, but I don't want, like, auto-aim. I don't want any of that lock-on garbage. That's junk. You don't need that. But I might turn the sensitivity down just, like, a tiny smidge. I'm pretty used to the feeling of the movement now, but yeah, just the... I don't know, the amount of friction that you feel when you move over targets, maybe. Because that's a whole nother way that people sort of do auto-aim, is to make it so the targets become sort of sticky when you pass over them with the cursor. I don't know why I needed to jump up here. I guess I needed the secret. What did I actually just pick up there? Something good. Alright. But yeah, I mean, in general, I do prefer not to have any sort of aim assist or targeting junk. But yeah, in some cases where the controls are incredibly twitchy, that might make sense for some players. I mean, maybe it's just sort of like an aid for people having trouble. Maybe that could be like, you failed so many times, let's give you some sticky aim or something. But yeah, you should probably have to fail a few times for that. Just throwing around ideas here. This isn't anything. So we're in red zone down here. What do we have? Another door to open up. So I guess we'll probably wrap it up after this level is over, because I also don't want to, you know, just spoil the whole alpha version. I want to encourage you guys to go and pre-order this so you can have just as much fun as I'm having playing this one right now. Man, couldn't seem to catch that guy's head. What are you doing in the corner there? And I hope you'll pardon if my viewpoint is a little too twitchy. It's funny how people play first-person shooters. If you notice it, like, over long periods of time, the way that people have played and interacted with these cameras has changed a lot. Because back in the day, if you remember, like, you never could look up or down. You were just basically, I mean, the closest thing to being on rails, really. Sure, you could move around in all directions, but you couldn't really see what was going on around you very well. And obviously that's come a long way, and I mean in baby steps, too. Like, if you remember back on GoldenEye on N64, you had to use those freaking yellow C keys on your N64 controller to look up and down. And that was a pretty big encumbrance, so I'm glad we finally got all the way from that concept to, you know, the traditional dual sticks, walk, look, mouse aim, mouse look thing. I think that's just the only way that these games should really be played properly. Not sure where I was going with that point anymore, but I'm just saying it feels good to have all that control at your disposal. Like, we should sort of like appreciate the fact that there was a time when we didn't have that, and this time is over. We are now in a better place when it comes to moving and looking in a 3D space. That almost sounded like poetry a little bit. Do I really have to jump that? I'm pretty sure I can, but it's not a good amount of space for me. Do it! Got it. It's nice that it shows this security cam view each time, but it also kind of does break up gameplay a little bit. I wonder if you can skip that. Oh, crap. I just fell in the slime, but it actually... hopefully it's like Doom slime. Alright, so we've got like your elite soldiers now that have some purple armor. I just haven't really taken a look at these guys even. So what even are they? There's some sort of like reptilian creepy guys? Oh, yeah, they got 3 fingers. Looks like something I've fought in games before. I mean, I guess I would ideally like to see a few more various grunt types. But there is also something to be said for being able to very quickly identify what an enemy is just based on their, you know, immediate appearance. I figured that was going to be a monster closet when I went in there. Teleporters, okay. So we've opened one of the 2 sets of bars now. I don't believe I have... yeah, I don't ever get key cards, I suppose. They just open. So which way? I needed to finish going this way, right? What are you doing, guys? You just bobbing? Bobbing for apples down there? Oh, you're dead. So are you. Oh, down into the lava, okay. Okay, that was a little bit of a risky jump, and actually, this was a dead end, so I really didn't even need to come up here. And that is where I fought those robots. Alright, clearly I missed something somewhere. I got this stuff. What's going on up here? This was all clear. Clear, clear, clear. It's a little bit of a wandering map, I have to say. I mean, I'm used to that stuff from the old Doom and Quake style maps, and in fact, the Quake maps, some of them were freaking crazy. Like, I mean, I shouldn't really just say the Quake maps, but more so than the Doom maps just because they had verticality involved. Doom maps were constrained to the single plane, so... I mean, yes, they did have up and down to them, but they didn't have stuff on top of other stuff, if you know what I mean. So, that does make a difference, and that definitely helps them sprawl a lot more. I know I just went in a loop here, but I don't know. Clearly I missed something, probably something fairly obvious. Maybe this original door opens again. No. Forgot to check to see if these barrels explode. Barrels are supposed to explode? Okay, you're doing it wrong, guys. There's your homework. Make barrels explode. No, I'm kidding. Oh, and into the lava. That actually is a great ending point, just because I believe my hard drive is actually getting pretty full. My frame rate's starting to dip a little bit. So I'm going to wrap this one up. This has been a great game, actually. I highly recommend that you check this out. Let's press F to revive. And we're back like nothing ever happened. I still have 4 more lives, too. But, no, let's just stay there, actually. Let's quit the title. That's what I meant to do. So, Wrack is a game in progress. It may suck. That's their assertion. I'm going to say no, it doesn't suck at all. I think it's definitely worth your time and worth your money, worth checking out, worth voting for in Greenlight, worth potentially pre-ordering if that's in the cards for you. If you want to play this right now, if you want to get your hands on that level editor, check out some community maps, see where the rest of this mission goes, see what that bazooka is like, because I'm kind of curious myself, and see what other bosses might show up to ruin our day. I think potentially this game has a lot going for it. Not potentially, it does have a lot going for it, and I think what I meant to say is the potential for where this game could be going is high. So, I'd say get in on the ground floor while you still can. It's still super early, and it's already this fun. It's only going to get better, right? So, if you're in for an old-school, arcadey style first-person shooter with none of that realism garbage that's become so freaking pervasive, I find it, I mean, it's a little annoying sometimes, but at other times, like, you want it. So, I don't know. It's good to vacillate between 2 ideas, but I think there's not enough of this stuff out there anymore. So give it, vote with your dollars, vote with your wallet. Give it your support. That's my assertion anyway. So thank you so much for watching Wrack. As always, remember to head on over to the website, www.indie-impressions.com. Check out all the videos. You can sort them by payment styles, by Steam, Desera, you know, the free ones, the ones that you can vote for in Greenlight, all that good stuff, and Wrack is going to be right among them on the Greenlight collection. So visit that as well. Links are right in the description of the video for your perusal. And head on over to facebook.com/indieimpressions. Leave a like on that page if you'd like to, and then all of each day's videos will show up right in your Facebook feed. Makes it nice and convenient for you. And then you can just stay up on what's going on the channel, and I do leave some news updates and such on the Facebook page occasionally, so... Plus, it helps me out, you know, if you'd like to help me out, that's one quick way to do it. And lastly, if you have any comments, criticisms, suggestions, or you're a indie dev and you just want to get your game on the show, if you want to send me a review copy, quickest way to get in contact with me is at RockLeeSmile on Twitter. Look, he did the same thing I just did. And then we can start a dialogue, and if you're just a guy or gal watching the show and you want to say, hey, I highly recommend you do that as well, because I love to talk to everybody. That is what we're here to do, after all. Promote indie games, promote art in games, and just get the word out about some stuff that really needs to get the word out about it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, remember to come back again tomorrow. I do a new episode every single day. Show your support however you can. It means a lot to me that you're watching, and I really appreciate it. So have a lovely night, guys, and I will see you again tomorrow. Later.